I'm Kelsey Probilski, a barbecue enthusiast and native Texan.
And I'm Jess Pryles, hardcore carnivore, live fire chef, and meat expert.
I've been all over Texas tasting some of the best barbecue in the state. But this time around, Jess is taking me beyond the pit to discover the people and places that make Texas barbecue so legendary. This episode, we set off to find some trailblazers who wouldn't let anything, even a global pandemic, stand in the way of their Texas-sized dreams.
We met some tenured pitmasters and barbecue up-and-comers who are shaking things up, along with a rancher who's breaking barriers in the cattle industry.
Knowing my love for all things brunch, Jess took me to Briskets in Austin. Here, two seasoned pitmasters put their heads together to create a new spin on a favorite Southern staple.
It's got to be pretty hard to start a barbecue restaurant here.
I feel like there's so many in Austin that you have to do something different to stand out.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Howdy.
What's up?
Glad y'all can make it. I got some food ready for you.
Oh my God, thank you.
You want to grab a table? I'll meet y'all out there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, right? This looks amazing.
Explain what's on this.
So we've got our brisket and jelly here. This is the signature one. It's what got it all started. Brisket and egg, you can't go wrong with an egg and cheese biscuit. And then, of course, you got to have hash browns if you're going to eat brunch. So
I know how hard biscuits are to make, and I can see you've got the layers in here. You got a nice cat head shape. Is there anything special about the jelly, or it's just really good
the
strawberry jelly?
It's our smoked strawberry jelly.
I can't do it. This is okay. Wait, do you have any advice
on how
do I
to
have to
attack
unhinge
this?
my jaw?
You might need to. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Hold my hair. Okay, thanks.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Okay, here.
Wait, so you're smoking your jelly?
Yeah, so we smoked some fresh strawberries to throw in there. We tried smoking all of them, but it's a little too smoky, so I'm saying about a third are smoked, and then we kind of fold those in after the jelly's made, and that gives it just a little hint of smokiness, gives a different flavor profile than your typical strawberry jelly.
I honestly was worried that it was going to be really rich, but the butteriness of the biscuit still works with that kind of, unctuous quality of the brisket.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to get the flavor right. We tried a lot of different butters. We found that to kind of be the key ingredient to the flavor of it, the butter and the flour. So we spent a lot of time trying to get the flavor right, trying to get the texture right, making sure.
How long did you work on the recipe for?
About 10 months. About 10 months. So
You spent 10 months perfecting these biscuits?
yeah.
Love it.
We spent a lot of time tinkering, and we knew that it had to be perfect if it was going to be a food truck idea. So
For me, the real foundation is still the brisket. What are you using? Just a regular offset pit? How do you cook it?
yeah, so we use an offset smoker. We're using mostly post oaks and pecan. And then we use a foil boat method instead of wrapping. That gives that bark stays crispy and
Crunchy
kind
bark
of
club.
gives you those different textures in there. Especially when the jelly goes on top, you want something that has a little bit more crisp to it. And
Why did you decide to use pecan? Because that's a little unusual. Usually Central Texas is all post oak, right?
so we're mostly post oak. We throw a little pecan in there just for that extra little flavor kick. It gives it something a little bit different.
I think this is a great example of simplicity, making it even more important to focus on quality. Because you've really only got three things. You've got your biscuit, your brisket, and this jelly, but every one of those three elements is done in the best way possible.
Yeah, and it has to be, for it to be a great sandwich. So
That's
Look,
honestly,
just look. I just want you to look at it. Stare at it with love.
I can't, or I'm gonna eat it.
I'm gonna eat it. Did you kind of have an aha moment to bring something like this together? Because it's definitely not traditional barbecue, right?
We did. We absolutely did. We started by making biscuits. We both come from the South. Biscuits are very special to both of us. So that was kind of the beginning of this whole ordeal, and and then we knew that brisket and strawberry went well together, so we tried a strawberry jelly, and the first bite we knew we had hit hit the jackpot.
So what came first, the food truck or the brisket biscuit jam idea?
The brisket biscuit jam came first, and we knew it would work as a food truck, and so we just dove headfirst in and started making, you know, hundreds and hundreds of biscuits until we were happy. Yeah, it's been great. We really were looking for a coffee shop. That was kind of our ideal location when we were looking for a spot, because we knew that brunch would just fit perfectly with a coffee shop, and it's been fantastic here. There's so many cool people that come here. We have a lot of regulars, you know, that come to this spot, and it's a very Austin spot. Weird food truck in a weird spot, it's a perfect match.
You come from an Austin barbecue background. How important was it to you to make sure y'all were doing something different in a town where there's a lot of barbecue, right?
Exactly. I mean, we knew we had to do something different. We knew we had to kind of stand out, and the brisket and jelly was just the right things.
It is. And by the way, look, I am very proud of my homemade biscuits. I make mine square like y'all's, which is a little bit unusual, but I don't want to tell you that yours are better than mine, but they are.
Wow.
That's a huge compliment. That's a huge compliment, yeah. And square is the way to go. I mean, you get the crispy corners, you know, you get more out of your biscuit dough as well, and you know, my favorite piece is the corner. I always rip a corner off before I eat, you know, the rest of the biscuits. So.
Go ahead, just get in there.
Yeah.
Our search for barbecue trailblazers brought us to Interstellar Barbecue in Austin. This place has quickly grown in popularity thanks to an ambitious chef's dream of building an out-of-this-world barbecue destination.
John, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so welcome to the restaurant. Appreciate it.
Interstellar. I'm curious what the story is behind that because it's such a unique name.
Well, I wish I had a deep answer for you, but the fact of the matter is we were just drinking beer, and that was the name that stuck.
I feel like many, many good names have been developed drinking beer.
Absolutely.
Like
all the
band
best
names.
plans are hatched over lots of beers.
Absolutely.
And some whiskey.
So you transitioned from Noble Sandwich to barbecue. What led to that transition?
Honestly, I was just tired of making sandwiches. I wanted to do something different, and I love barbecue as much as anybody around here, so I figured why not do barbecue.
So you went from like easy lunchtime, throw it in a sandwich, to one of the hardest, most labor-intensive things out there.
Absolutely not. It was way harder making sandwiches than it is
Are you
barbecue.
serious?
I'm dead serious. This is my zen space. I love cooking barbecue, and it's so much more chill than the sandwich shop was.
So your meditative state is in front of a smoker.
Yes.
I like that.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah. How big was the smoker you started with, and how many smokers do you have now?
So we started out with a 1,000-gallon pit, upgraded to a second 1,000 and a 500, and I can show you guys the pits if you want to.
Yeah, let's go. Actually, you guys, I don't want... No, I'm kidding. I want to see it.
This is such a colorful plate. What do we have here?
Beautiful.
You know, our standard dishes are brisket, our all-beef kielbasa, and then some of our sides, a mac and cheese made with Gouda, tomato zucchini salad, and then a beet salad that we're doing now.
You can see the homemade pickles, the homemade onions. You can just see there's an overlay of I am a professional chef. And this looks fantastic.
Everything on the tray is important to us. So from the pickles to the brisket to the sides, it's all done deliberately with intentions of creating certain flavors and textures.
You know, I don't know that you can serve a tray of barbecue without brisket on it.
No, you have to. It's mandatory around here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Not
brisket's
far.
king in Texas.
So you use your trimmings in the sausage,
Yeah.
and I mean, it works from a restaurant perspective, but it's also great as a flavoring agent.
Yeah. I mean, you've got this amazing brisket, and you've got these great trimmings. Not only does it make sense financially, but you've got such a tasty product. I mean, why not put that somewhere else and let it be a star somewhere else on the tray? Sausage is a science. I mean, there's so much work that goes into something as basic as a sausage that most people don't realize.
Since you have a background in restaurants, you're not new to the side dishes, but when did you start doing barbecue, and what was that process like?
I started doing barbecue professionally 3 years ago when we opened up the restaurant.
John, how did you go from Noble Sandwich to this?
You know, we had lots of employee appreciation parties at the restaurant. And one of the things that I would often do is cook barbecue for the whole team. after we would get together and celebrate and toast, we would have a big meal and I would cook for everybody. And I loved doing it. It was a lot of fun. And the staff really enjoyed the food. I got good feedback. So I was kind of tired of sandwiches and wanted to kind of strike out in a new direction and do something different from Noble. And I said, well, seems to make people happy. Why not try doing a pop-up with barbecue and see where that takes me? Did a pop-up out at Jester King and had huge lines, and we're making people smile and have a good time. Went out to Jackson, Mississippi to my buddy's restaurant, and we had a full house there. And so the feedback was like super good, and I was like, well, we're making people happy. There's no time like the present to jump in and just do something because life is short. So barbecue it is.
You did an employee appreciation party where you cooked brisket. Then you decided to open up a restaurant.
Yes.
And then the pandemic hit. And then you emerged from the pandemic as being one of the top barbecue restaurants in Texas. Are you even processing all of that?
It's a whirlwind. It's been a really long, strange, short 3 years. It's just surreal. So it's hard. It's hard to come to terms with the fact that we've jumped up so high in so many people's opinions. And it's just because we love what we do and we're just trying to make good food.
Does all of that success change anything about how you're feeling or how you're running the restaurant?
I mean, from the food standpoint, no. There are no compromises on the food. We haven't changed anything when it comes to how we cook our food. We just have to cook more of it. It makes it exciting. I mean, I love a busy restaurant, and we're lucky enough to have one now.
It's great.
I just want to cook food that I think is great food and I love. And so when I'm trying to make great food that I love, I try to make sure that there are no compromises in the quality of it, so I can stand 100% behind it and tell somebody, this is good pasta, you should eat it.
You can taste it. You can taste that standard in your food. You know, most people don't cook pasta several times a day just to get the perfect al dente texture on it. Why do you care so much about your food?
I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I like to do things the hard way. I love food and I love hospitality. And if I'm going to try to give somebody a little moment of joy and happiness, I should do my best. And I don't know, that's just how I roll.
Do you want to see my moment of happiness with your food?
I was going to say.
Our next stop, Goldie's Barbecue. Located on the edge of Fort Worth, this up-and-coming barbecue joint opened its doors in early 2020. This talented group of pitmasters are quickly smoking their way to the top.
She went straight to the beef, Emma. That's how it rolls.
It's calling my name on this plate. If I can hold it, I will eat it.
Do you all want to tell us a little bit about what you've given us today on this magnificent tray?
Yeah, so we got a little bit of brisket, the beef rib, which we already saw a second ago, our cheesy grits, our house-made sauce, our homemade pickles, onions, and slice of jalapenos.
What would you say the secret to Goldie's Barbecue is?
I think we try the food every day all together. I think that's the secret is we're always trying to make it better, and we're always making sure everything is good enough for everyone that got here at 4 a.m. to wait for.
Who is we? How many people do you have working here?
We have 6 people total.
We knew each other since elementary school, pretty much. But then we met Chuck a couple years ago, and yeah, it's just a little small crew.
And if we ever need backup, we call our regulars and they come and help us out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're just crowdsourcing
We have
pitmasters?
probably 3 or 4 regulars that will come in and help us out whenever we need it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's community spirit.
That is community spirit. That's amazing.
It's really cool.
So funny, pulling in here, there's just this big old sign that just says barbecue. It's a real old school situation. Coming in here, it's no frills, which really puts a huge focus and spotlight on the barbecue itself, which that's a huge compliment, the fact that you guys are still #1. And it's like, we're not trying to distract in any way. Like, it's about the meat. Has it really hit you guys that you're #1? How do you feel?
For me personally, it really hasn't hit. I mean, it was the process of opening up, going through the pandemic, and all this, like, a lot of ups and downs mentally. Once we got number one, that kind of just, a mix of emotions just came in. And right now I'm still, like, processing all of that. So, yeah, from my experience, but
Yeah.
together, overall, like, we've gone through this together, went through all the hardships together, and I think we don't say this out loud, but I think we're pretty proud of ourselves.
It took a lot of hard work, working 7 days a week and getting a paycheck of $100 and $200 a week. It was tough. These guys did it for a really long time, and now they survived and incredibly changed things.
I feel like trying to aim for number one was like something we maybe thought about sometimes when we were younger in our barbecue endeavors. I don't know if there was like a set way we were supposed to feel, because it doesn't feel like, oh, we're number one. So
Yeah.
But I think once like every service, like looking out that window and seeing the line past the barbecue sign, it kind of sinks in more like that.
We were just pushing the food that we enjoy eating and what we enjoy serving to people, and
We just tried making our favorite barbecue that we would love, and we went to as many spots and we cooked as much as we could until we were happy with it.
Texas brisket is the king. And that means this brisket is the king. What does it take in addition to the cooking process? How important is the raw ingredient? What do you start with?
I think just a good quality brisket. We use choice and prime whenever we can get it, because it's hard to come by. It's funny because there's so many barbecue places all over the world that try to replicate Texas-style beef, and they get their meat from Texas or local farms and try to replicate what we have, and it's funny seeing it all over.
yeah.
Do y'all see yourself in like 30 years still getting excited about the briskets came out good today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like how you asked Lane how long it took him to like feel like that I cook a good brisket. Even now, I think all of us kind of still feel nervous, like every day. It's just...
Until you slice into it.
Yeah. So I think it's just never gonna end. It's a brisket high.
Brisket high. I think what makes Goldie's to me very unusual is that when you talk about traditional joints, it's one owner that hires several pit masters,
For sure.
where you guys have really come together as these younger innovators. Is it hard working out who's sharing what, whose ideas get brought to the table? Because it's hard to have a lot of chiefs, you know?
I think like we all have maybe different viewpoints of how to get to the end product, but in the end, like we all are looking for the same end product. So like we'll always be constantly throwing out ideas, trying new things, doing weird stuff that most people probably aren't doing, but I think we all have the same goal, and like maybe people get passionate about one thing, but in the end we're all working together and as a team, so we're working for what's best for the restaurant.
Sitting down with this tray of food, it's easy to see why you ended up in the #1 spot, and we just wish you continued success, because I feel like this is just the beginning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That means a lot.
As I stuff my face.
We met some pioneers of Texas barbecue, but our journey wasn't quite over yet. We wanted to hear from a trailblazer behind the scenes, so Jess and I headed out to meet Kimberly Ratcliffe, a rancher who's made a name for herself in the industry.
What do you do here at Caney Creek Ranch?
It's a little bit of everything. It just matters what day you wake up. It could be from calving. It could be from working with my nutritionist. So it just depends on the day.
So you're a cow-calf operation that also raises their own meat.
Correct. So we calf out, we buy stockers and buy our neighbor cattle to the end product, to raising our own meat and our own little feeding operation here on the place.
Like, when did your family obtain this ranch?
Right.
Tell us that story.
Right. So my parents bought this in 2002. My dad retired from all his business ventures and decided this was his next business venture. And I realized in 2007 when I worked in New York at Wall Street.
What?
Yes, I worked there for a couple years. And I just realized, yes, I just realized that it's just, like you said, wildly different. there was that disconnect from rural America and Wall Street. There's that huge disconnect. So I decided that I was going to quit my job and come home. So it was just one of those things, if you didn't do it while you were young, I would have been married, had kids, and I would have been stuck in New York, and I didn't want that. Wow. So I said, let me quit while I'm young and can experience and come with the energy that it needs to be generational.
So we got a business-minded woman with a rural heart.
There you go.
Beautiful.
There you go.
I see beautiful pasture. What are you feeding your cattle?
So we feed them a mixture of silage, which is a type of grass that is fermented, to grain. So it's 50-50 silage and grain. And then it's all depending on the weight and the scale of what that combination looks like.
What do you think when people at the farmer's market ask you, is this grain or grass-fed? What do you tell them?
It's a conversation. I love having this conversation with them because that is our role. Our role as cattle producers is to educate the consumer.
All cattle in America at some stage have been grass-fed.
Exactly. That is a perfect way to go into it. Like everything has been on the grass, grow on the grass, at least for the first year to year and a half, those animals are on grass. And after that, they're just finished because consumer wants a consistent taste. I keep saying, even when I feed my animals, I want a consistent taste. And if you give them a consistent taste, they're going to go back to that same product and be like, hey, I like it.
Yeah. So consistency equals quality.
Right.
Where do you think you would be now if you stayed in New York?
I really don't know because I don't even think about it as much, but I realize the lifestyle differences. You know, I was on a fast pace, always going, flying here, flying there. And the lifestyle here, don't get me wrong, I'm busy, but I'm busy with the sun shining on me every day. It's not busy with 4 walls around me. My 4 walls are this land. And you can't beat this view as a office every day.
No, you cannot. Grab a dish.
I guess I'm using my fingers for this. Yeah, absolutely. It's what you gotta do. I'm gonna take this taters.
Ranching is mainly a male-dominated field.
Right.
What is it like for you representing in this field? How has it been?
At first, I could say it was hard for me to get people to understand that I was knowledgeable about the industry because of where I came from. A lot of these ranchers live on tens of thousands of acres, are homeschooled. The only black person they've seen was on TV. You know, they've never seen anyone outside of TV.
Wow.
So I remember several times 2 people would be like, you're the first black person I've ever met. Only person I've seen was on TV. So what is my reaction? It's like, I hope I make a good impression of the first black person you ever met.
Do you feel like that's driven you even further to want to succeed?
I think it's driven me to open doors so other people can have this door open that's a minority. You're usually the first so someone else can come behind you. That's the most important part. It's not important to be the first. It's to be the first so someone else can come behind you.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
I just wanted to make a toast to Kim. Thank you so much for giving us a tour of your ranch. It's been really inspirational to hear your story about how you are helping make a name for women in ranching. You've been a real trailblazer, and it's really cool to see that you're dedicating this for future generations.
Cheers.
Yeah,
to Kim.
Cheers. It's been really cool and inspiring to see the people in the barbecue industry just continue to work hard and follow their passions.
Yeah, like a 10-month recipe to perfect a brisket biscuit at Briskets.
Brisket biscuits.
At Briskets.
Say that 3 times fast.
But it was so good.
So good. I was obsessed with the beef kielbasa at Interstellar as well. I mean, 3 years, that's it.
And the snap on that kielbasa, it's just like, and the beef ribs at Goldie's, like to come out of nowhere, and they're crushing it now.
I could have a beef rib every single day.
Me too.
My favorite. I have been especially taken with Kim. I think it's so cool and so inspirational what she's been doing. She's really been paving the way for women in the ranching industry.
What Kim's doing with Caney Creek in terms of setting it up for future generations, she's gonna do some amazing stuff. I can't wait to see what she does next.
So cool.
Yeah.